Protista includes plant like, animal like, and fungus like unicellular organisms. So, we had already discussed about the plant like and animal like organisms. Now, let's see how does the fungus like organism look like. So, the fungus looking or fungus like organism is called the slime mold, and it produces its own type or its offspring with the help of spores. The slime molds exhibit characteristics which are in between the animals and fungi. The feeding stage of slime mold moves about a mass of protoplasm feeding on bacteria, spores, and other organic matter, much like an amoeba. But when the food supply is exhausted and unfavorable conditions occur, at that time the plasmodium changes, taking the appearance of a fungus. So, this is something which is very common during the rainy season. At first, these spores they are feeding. Let me just show you the spores. How do they actually look like? You all can see this is the enlarged view of the spores. Now, these are the different colors. On the wood, you will see that some scratches are there or some fungal growth is there. That red color, something which is growing, yellow color, something which is growing, some white color, something is visible from a distance. But when you go very close by, take a magnifying glass in your hand and try to focus properly, you will see that they look somewhat like this. Even if you focus little more, you will see that they look somewhat like this. Now over here you can see the spores. These are the spores. How they in the rainy season, suddenly at a place in your house you will see that some white color dots has appeared, or um, damping. Generally when we say that something is damp, at that place there are presence of spores. These spores, after some time, they just become the amoeba. Just within a day or two they will become amoeba, and small microscopic, like just a dot if you put with a pen, that size of organism will be moving around if you look at it very carefully. When that organism, like, it is capable of replicating itself to a flagellated cell, about which I'm trying to say, that which is like a dot and is capable of movement, and other times it's like an amoeba, so maybe it will not be visible also. So some of the times two of these haploid cells of amoeba or the flagellates, they fuse together and they form a diploid cell. This diploid cell is the plasmodium, and it looks like a fungal growth or damping over the walls during the rainy season. And this plasmodium is a diploid structure. After a certain period of time, this plasmodium turns into, or this white color sheet which is there on the walls, it will turn into this structure. These all structures which you can see, maybe this type or this type structures will be there, or this one also, and these will become sporocarps after some time, and after that it will again burst off releasing the spores. Even if you try to remove them from that area, after a certain period of time again they will reappear, because the spores still stays there in spite of whatever amount of cleaning you have done, and again the favorable conditions will arise. These spores will give rise to amoebae, and plasmodium again will give rise to the sporocarp. The cycle continues. These slime molds have certain characters. So, for example, let's just have a look. Plasmodium slime molds are true slime molds, are and are basically enormous single cells, formed of enormous single cells with thousands of nuclei aligned together in the plasmodium. This supercell is the product of mitotic nuclear division that are that are not followed by cytokinesis. So please add a no T over there. By contrast, cellular slime molds spend most of their lives as individuals, unicellular amoeboid protists, but when a chemical signal is secreted, they assemble into a cluster, and that cluster is just one organism. So, cellular slime molds also differ from plasmodial slime molds in being haploid organisms. Only the zygote is diploid and having fruiting bodies that function in asexual rather than sexual reproduction. Dictostelium discoideum, a cellular slime mold, has become a model organism for studying the evolution of multicellularity, because they are like combining together, and they are behaving like a tissue. And some of the examples include Phycerums, Stimonitis, and Trichia. You can learn the names, at least two are to be learned. This is just the diagram of the same slime mold on the walls. You can see these structures. These are those spores or plasma, are not the spores, these are the plasmodial structures. And when I am talking about the flagellates, these are the flagellates. Over the same structure, if you just focus very properly, you will see that some dots moving brown color organisms are there, and those are the amoebae or the flagellates. So general characteristic: the vegetative phase of thallus is free living, naked, multinucleated mass of protoplasm called plasmodium. The plasmodium consists of diploid nuclei, lacks cell wall, and secretes slime. Slime is sticky substance which is secreted and which has in adherence with the wall. Chlorophyll is lacking, so these are generally saprophytic, rarely parasitic, causing abnormal swelling upon the bodies of the host. The plasmodium shows amoeboid movement by producing pseudopodia. These are sporocarps which are visible. It is a magnified view. They reproduce by means of spores produced in sporangia. So those globular structures, these are sporangia, and in this there is presence of spores. Once the favorable condition will arise, it will burst and release all the spores out. And all the spores, they have cellulosic cell wall, and they are produced by the result of meiosis. The slime molds are generally holocarpic, and the spores germinate to produce myxamoeba. We have seen the structure, just the amoeba like organisms which are feeding, or biflagellated swarm cells behaving as gametes. So the swarm cells fuse together to form an isogamous type of sexual reproduction, and slime molds may be colorless or variously colored in yellow, orange, or brown colors. So, this is some of the concluding steps about the or the concluding characteristics about the slime molds, and these are very common during the rainy season. So look here and there around your house, and you will be definitely able to find some of the colonies of these slime molds around your house.